Tian Penatani Tango, the Sanji Jumdin, the Donhaji them by Saos, the Demba Gin, Donhaji them by Shibar Saos, the Nikum them by Koran, Palmer Saos, on the Nares comes on Koran, the Nichedo Sanotin, the Donhamato Kain Yamari, Donhata Yuri, Nika Devachi Yuna, correct Tita, Donhate Lion, the Koran, Zava Donhasam, the Nichaban Dubzija Donhatuta, the Chabding. Ah, the Ninja Donhate, thing or something. Donha the thing that Donha, Tizava Donha number song, take a Yana Donha Chewa, Gawa, Nava, and Chewa, Tani, Dobat and Toto, Makarba Donha, you don't want and travel Donha, all Nanesoke, Tindija Tani, Nanesoketa, Donha Mango, Yuri, T. Donha, the Nilija Pungong upon the dog, more Nijikatani Don Harwachik, T. Donhati, comes on Korako, Nero, take Chinidi, take Kain, Nanesoke, she started to say Devachi Mari, Tini, Zonta, Canis, Yena. They don't have some Jerami, Jinjeri. They tell you would on me, soups in there. They serve about 30 said, pat down. Then I answer, okay. Come joke and lay the new mobile rally, the Yarmato, James Sababo, Jagati, Yayasi, Gaga, Dugdosi, Jag, Natuton, and you see the major, so the project in me. All they say, I answer, seem that contained. They all seem that and the news only say,
and in that way, the great teacher, when Buddha spoke or taught the first teaching, is Four Noble Truths. What he said first to his 5 disciples and all those celestial beings and animals, first said, must be recognized the suffering. Suffering that should be recognized. That is what really the first his teachings. This suffering is kind of like under low currents to all the time we are. We all have these sufferings. In the samsara, of course, there is also many good things ahead. But the suffering is the highlighted kind of situation in the samsara we go through. There is good things, we don't kind of highlight that, and it just goes kind of almost goes so quickly, so past, very kind of speed of light. But the sad and sufferings, something difficult that looks like stays long time. And for that reason, Buddha said, first recognize or should see the suffering. This suffering, again, there's many different things, sufferings, as in the Buddha's teaching said, and I mean, it's not just teaching said, when we want to kind of analyze this suffering situation, there's 3 major sufferings, often known as that. Those are the like all pervasive sufferings, kind of under low currents sufferings that are existing all. And there is a second suffering that's known as the changeable sufferings. And the third is then suffering over sufferings. This is always we have. In the samsara we have. That means as long as we have the duality mind, grasping and clinging, we have this thought all the time. Then beside that, there is like other sufferings. Those are known as then, such as birth, death, getting old, sicknesses. All that we go through. This again, this suffering or this like kind of unpleasant situation, that is there. That definitely is we cannot avoid. As soon as we have the birth, we cannot avoid the sicknesses. As soon as we have the birth, we cannot avoid also the getting old. And as soon as we have the birth, we cannot also avoid death. This is always there, these 3 things, all that. And beside that, then often said in the teaching, or not just the teaching, we experience it ourselves, that we said that the sufferings of the separations of the loved ones, they're separated. And then also something that unwanted things are coming one after another. And then kind of undesirable things are coming one after another. And then also for us, the body is always something that uncomfortable or need to be always balanced and this and that. Having separations of the loved ones, maybe I said already, but anyway, all those are like difficulties, the change, unpleasant things that we go through that always. Beside that, then there's so many other things also kind of related, one after another comes. This is the part of the samsara. This is the part of the result of this grasping and clinging that we hold. And therefore, for that reason, Buddha said, first, must be recognized the sufferings. Then second, he said, must be avoided the cause of that suffering, cause of that pleasure, unpleasures. It's not just happening by itself. Everything what we experience, we go through, it has cause, it has conditions. By the combination of cause and conditions, then it activating that. And that's what we call the sufferings. So cause of those must be said, the all source of that must be avoided. And we don't like all these sufferings, the change. We must be also walk and deal with how to avoid that very cause and condition, so that we will be completely, totally eliminated, not just cover up things, kind of like passing through or cover up or trying to pretending that, but we uproot the very cause of that. And that's what the gracious teacher Buddha said.
That thing Koran ke jote on thi doha te kanip song ori se du tha ngo ni le tha ram ji ni song de ba chi mari ho je me ba chi ni che le song wa chi mari ho je je ke ni yin je ke je yin yu ne se ba po yin ma je ke ting an so na tu tong du kim sin ne se ko ma se ba po de so wo khana ra le de sim de tang ta na tin ra le de sa ma te nga dong de te kanip song ori se du sim de tang ta na song ne ni song le.
And for that, again, when we are in the teaching, or the gracious teacher, when analyzed by Buddha, when he said, this, whatever the result comes, or this suffering, it's not just developing by the no cause and no conditions. So that means it has cause and conditions. This cause and condition also not just developing something completely different than the result itself. So it's not just a kind of like strange things are developing this result. The whatever we experience or whatever the result, that correspond with the cause and condition. Cause and condition, what way things are, that exactly correspond to the result itself. They're matching. It's not just a kind of odd and end where developing something different things. It's always respond that. And it's also not somebody else doing these things and then just throwing to us. It's just it's one's own doer. If we are experiencing that must have something to do with our own self. That's where the system is. And then when we look into more that's what the great teacher Buddha said. It's all reflecting from this mind. Mind is the source of all these difficulties and troubles.